This is part 24 of our Let's Play series for Breath of the Wild. And this part called Mushroom Elixirs, guess what we'll be doing? We're making a couple Mushroom Elixirs. We'll run to a Wizzrobe and we'll get a lightning rod, which we'll kind of complain about that, hopefully, if we don't forget that we're going to mention that point. And then we just kind of explore and collect some items. So not a lot going on this part, but as we've said many times, we're going to have some parts like this in our Let's Play series.
There really are going to be quite a few of these, but one thing I did like, we did rescue this couple at the very end of the previous part, and just they seem like such a you kind of mentioned this, a very strong couple. It's like they're roaming about the countryside, like fighting enemies, trying to find a silent princess, because it's believed that like a silent princess, finding one together is a good sign for your relationship. So it's just neat to encounter a couple out doing this together in the game.
I wish I could find a silent princess for my wife, and it has a certain effect that's in the name. But I just saw an opportunity, right? Well, you know me, Red. I could live in complete silence almost.
Absolutely.
Well, until I have about 3 or 4 beers in me. Then I'm ready for a little talk and a little action. But
you just got to get warmed up.
Now I kind of threw myself off of what we're talking about.
What are we doing? What are we talking about?
But basically, no, we're just making mushroom elixirs, and we'll kind of spend a large majority of the video right here just cooking up different things.
We will, and this early on in the game, when I'm making like food and elixirs and stuff, I spend so much time here on the inventory screen because I'm really going through and reading the description for all these for all these ingredients to know what has what effect and everything. Later on in the game, as I get the hang of what items do what, then I'll spend a lot less time in the inventory screen. I'll just go straight to what I want. But this early in the game, I'm still trying to, learn what all the ingredients are and what they do. So it takes a little longer to cook up the elixirs that I want to carry with me and the food that I want to carry this early on in the game.
I just kind of scanned over the descriptions. You know me, just reading, whatever. Yeah, I can do it, but it's kind of a time waster. I'll throw this together. Kind of see what I get, and I'll probably never use it unless it restores my life later on when I'm about to die. But one thing that I found very funny that you do that I also do is that you don't skip that cutscene right there with him cooking. And
never do.
For me, I love the little music that comes along with it.
Me too.
His little
same
visual
thing.
of saying yes, and I did the exact same thing. I never wanted to skip that because I thought it was actually very cool to kind of see the whole elixirs and the results come together.
It is, especially when you get the special music where it's I don't know, it's every now and then you get...
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It gives you a little extra boost on it. And so every time I went to cook something, that's part of the reason I didn't skip the cutscene, was I wanted to see if I got that little extra boost. And I don't know if it's completely random or if it's certain ingredients that make the food and the elixirs more powerful. But every now and then you get a special little tune that lets you know that you've got an even more improved version of it. It's literally like playing a slot machine and waiting for that jackpot sound.
Well, I heard 3 sounds. I heard a Doobie's Food one, which obviously that's a bad sound.
Oh, we've heard that one.
And then you kind of hear the one where he made something okay. And then what you were talking about, there's one that's just a little bit higher pitched. Now, I think it does, it depends on what actual food you make, which obviously goes back to what ingredients you include. So it does matter what ingredients, and it also does matter which food you created. But I believe those higher noises are not random. I believe they actually do constitute you made a better food than maybe some of the regular ones in the game.
They should, and all I know is, like I said, it literally is like a slot machine. I want to hear that extra song, and I think that's part of why I never skip through that little cutscene. Plus, Link just kind of sounds like he's humming along with it, and to me, that's just, I don't know, it's just a catchy little animation and a little tune that, considering how much time I spend cooking stuff, it was kind of nice to get something.
I want to have that music and that reaction every time I open a beer. I want the loudest sound, or the loudest little ching or whatever, or chime you want to call it. That's what I need right there. And then I want to pump both fists down and just be yes.
I mean, because that is how I feel every time I pop open a beer. So I'm with you on that. Now, this is I believe the first Wizzrobe we've encountered in the game. And we don't encounter a ton of them if you don't want to, but I thought they were just very, very annoying enemies all throughout the game.
Well, this one right here can be kind of tough because it's it's an electric Wizzrobe, I guess you could call it.
I'm
not sure if it's because you get the lightning rod, so I wasn't sure if it's a lightning Wizzrobe or an electric Wizzrobe.
I'm honestly not sure.
But those are a pain because if you get kind of close to water, which there's a place later on in the game where I did kind of get close to water and also had to fight one of those, they become a big actually, you know what? It wasn't water. It was going up a tower, and that thing kept on like hitting me and shocking me and knocking me down.
I know exactly where you're talking
and like when it comes to that, like the Wizzrobes aren't that hard, but they could really be a pain in this game. Just really, what they've always done from the original Zelda is they can just frustrate you.
They really can, and for me, it's any enemy that can shock you. We see it with the Wizzrobes here. There are Elixirs, Lizalfos, little in different areas of the game.
Those are
well
a pain.
That have shock arrows. It just sucks because if you're carrying a metallic weapon or your shield, they can make you drop your items and you have to recollect them, re-equip them. It really is a pain, and for me, the ice and fire Wizzrobes are a little easier because if you shoot them with the opposite arrow, like let's say you shoot an ice Wizzrobe with a fire arrow, it kills it in one shot, but there's no equivalent for the shock Wizzrobes. It's just you have to sit there and plunk away at them with your regular bow.
Now, as Red kind of hinted out, like they're very easy to dodge. You can really just run past them unless they're like in the area that you need to be in.
Yeah.
But kind of going along, like we got a lightning rod right there from that Wizzrobe. I think we'll get an ice rod and then a fire rod. I'm not sure if that's the exact name of them.
I think it is.
We'll get those from the other ones. But Red, you kind of were talking behind the scenes, like those weapons were actually kind of disappointing. And I thought the same thing. Now, kind of going along with all the weapons in the game, yeah, you use them a couple times and they break. But like the lightning and the fire rods, like they would also lose energy, so you could sit there and actually hit without having like the power of that particular item, and then it could break without even using some of its energy.
Exactly, and that's just annoying. Being able to freeze the enemies with the ice rod was kind of useful. It would have been useful right there where that Bokoblin just blasted me with one hit.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, I missed that part, dang it. I'm pretty sure that Bokoblin right there, or Moblin, whichever one it was, killed you with his elbow. Like, he never really swung his club. He basically faked you out and just nailed you with his elbow, and somehow that killed you.
Well, what annoyed me was I ran in and I was hitting him with my torch for some reason, and that's just not going to do any damage whatsoever. So, like, if I would have been hitting him with my actual sword or something, it would have done a lot more damage, and maybe I wouldn't have gotten, a game over screen right there.
Yeah.
But I think when I got shocked by the Wizzrobe earlier, I dropped whatever my primary weapon was, and I guess I just accidentally equipped the torch.
Yeah.
So when I went in to fight that Bokoblin, all I had in my hand was just the torch. So I went in there swinging a torch, and it kind of reminds me of the character back at the stable that we kind of skipped over, that was wielding what he called the Master Torch, and he thought that was, the ancient legendary weapon.
Not sure that'll do much for you. Now, I can't remember if I talked about this or not, but this whole little shallow water area, I love every single one of these in the game. I believe I did talk about it maybe actually in our last... Well, we do these weekly. We do about 4 parts a week. So the 4 parts before this, I think I talked about. But these little water areas where you're able to actually run through them, but you can still see the water, the sun shining down off of it, some of the plant life coming out. I just thought were some of the most beautiful areas in the game.
Plus, just the effect of, like, you see water
of that
dripping.
Arrow hitting you in the heart right there, that effect.
That was bad. I mean, that Lizalfo just lined me up and dropped me with a shot. That was painful to have to rewatch there.
See, now, Red, what you've been doing to me, like, and you were good about this, is, like, you knew when I died, and, like, when it got to that point in the commentary, you would make sure to bring it up.
Oh, I was
get
ready.
Off on tangents. I don't pay attention to the screen, and I've missed so many of your, like, it's not, just we didn't play the game so well or as good as you could have. That one right there, I was going to make sure I remember because that, what was it, Lizalfos?
It was a Lizalfo.
That Lizalfos nailed you.
Well, the sad thing is, I don't think I necessarily did anything wrong. It's just his bow, and you'll see me, I think, pick it up here at some point, was stronger than anything I had, and one shot with it, I think, did the 3 hearts of damage it took to finish me off. I don't feel like I did anything that wrong, but now that I've come back to life, I'm going to go get my revenge. But this wraps up part 24 of our Breath of the Wild Let's Play series.